Oh, that was a long night last night of RP. You know that?
It's only 3 hours.
It was only 3 hours, but still, it was a long time. We didn't do anything until you decided to do something, and then we wound up doing even more of nothing at that point because there was
Was it
nobody in.
was the recording of us trying to get in at all, or was it just straight up the moment we started on the bench? That was when the three
Just when
hours
we
started.
started on the bench, yeah.
Gosh,
I didn't start recording when we were spamming to get into the fucking server.
time
Um,
flies when you're entertaining people for free.
yeah, when you're giving free entertainment on a bench. Anyway, this is not married to the name, and that was me smacking my mic stand here. I am Deuce Snookum, and this is PBR Smasher.
What's up, guys?
And we've been doing a lot of Red Dead RP lately, and I have been having a great deal of fun, especially kind of like puppet mastering the shitlords. I was almost thinking, it's a shame that they're all shitlords and none of them really like to RP. They like to bother people. But I was thinking how fun it would be to start a gang from the bench and just dictate things from the bench and never actually do anything.
Yep, just some inconspicuous name, but everyone knows
Mm-hmm. Is
where to
this?
go.
Yeah. We
Honestly,
weren't centered. We're
if you
centered.
started that from the bench, people might think you're a bigwig, and they might just go with it and not know any different. They might
Uh,
just think you're not to be messed with.
well, yeah, there's a lot to be learned from those on the bench. But
Yeah,
it's been fun.
last night was the first night where I had a really good time, but it didn't feel like there was like lots of super laugh out loud moments. It was just normal and fun, but there wasn't a lot of content like we would have normally gotten.
Yeah, we ran into another racist.
Yep.
The first guy, I mean, neither of them. Well, this guy was actually saying some stupid shit, but you know, honestly, it doesn't. It is what it is. They weren't saying anything that was like, just like terrible, but they were saying shit where I'm like, you wouldn't say that, you fucking little coward hiding behind your desk. But it's fun to start making fun of them and seeing how they react and shit like that. And everybody apparently thinks I'm black. I don't get it. I've had multiple people refer to me as the black guy on the bench now, but I'm just definitely
Women,
dirty.
this woman kept coming by and trying to dance in front of us, and then this guy came by named Bubba. He was just a shirtless guy with overalls and just
Yeah,
starts
Bubba
doing all
stole
these
the show.
elegant dance
Yeah.
moves.
Bubba
My
like.
name, yeah.
Bubba want to be a dancer.
Yeah, that was funny.
It was a good group of people, I'd say. And then it turns out that, it's Beefus. He was the one we were calling a blatant racist. You are a racist. He wasn't really being racist, but it was funny. But
What was his
Beefus,
last name?
oh my God, piss sniffer or something?
Something. He smelled urine for a living. I don't
Yeah, he
know. It
was a
was
pee sniffer.
strange.
Mm-hmm. Beefus wound up knowing Sleepy, and Sleepy was one of the first guys that we met the day before. I still haven't come across the Gooner yet in all the editing I've done. We met this guy
Really?
who kept coming up to people, and he's like, edging or gooning? He was a total gooner. Yeah. So, I'll probably have that edited by today, and I almost think we should do kind of change our schedule a little bit for the time being and do podcast episode, podcast episode, and maybe not like shorten it, and not so it's like a week between each thing, but to give us a little bit of time. Because to be honest, doing this consistently is definitely not as easy as I thought it would be because of us finding topics. And I feel like if we talk about the same thing every time, it kind of gets boring. So I'd like to kind of chop up and add some RP videos in there and eventually other gameplay videos just to
You
kind
would
of spice it up.
you would think that it'd be easy, but time constraints with energy levels is the real thing. We're on different time schedules. We live in different states, and honestly, at the end of a week of school, it's really hard to get energy. So
Yeah.
it's hard to shoot at night. But
And I don't
then
have energy by the nighttime. My best is like 7 a.m. to like probably right about now is like when I start to like fade energy wise. But
and
it is what it
sometimes you're
is.
out of town
Mm-hmm.
and Other times I've got schoolwork that I'm working on or other things. So yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a challenge in that regard.
Yeah, I think I need to get. Well, we've been talking about different living situations, her and I. So I think I might have to figure out a way to just kind of like steal a room and record over there. So that way we're not like I can't promise that the kids won't burst in the room, but I'll try to keep them out. But anyway,
Yeah. Today we're going to talk a little bit about random stuff, but we're going to talk about printing at some point here. I want to ask Deuce a little bit about his printing process. He does embroidery, sticker making, all sorts of different things, merchandising. We might talk a little bit about Hell Let Loose for 5 or 10 minutes.
we could start with Hell Let Loose, to
Kind
be
of,
honest.
kind of the hype of the industry right now. Hell Let Loose went free on Epic Games for a week, and now everyone's playing it again. You see it on all the gaming clips on Instagram and TikTok,
I think only
the
because
gaming
he's
channels.
playing it, he's seeing clips for it. I don't see clips for Hell Let Loose, but
I follow something called House of Gaming, and they show all sorts of different clips depending on what's popular in the industry. So right now, House of Gaming's been posting a lot of Hell Let Loose. But I think, yeah, I think it's gonna die off. So my take on it, I'll spiel it first, and then I'll let you spiel it because you played it a couple of years ago. I've just recently played it. I got two buddies in on this to play together with that I normally don't play video games with. They like it, but what we're seeing and we're all experiencing is the same problems. So I'll get the problems out of the way first, then I'll talk about the good. Problems are you have 50 people in a server and the commander has a shit ton of control. So if you don't get a commander in the game, your team's pretty much fucked because he can't get you tanks, he can't get you special airdrops where you guys can spawn in different locations. So it's dependent on having a good commander. I think one person might have a little too much power in that regard. Um, Another thing I don't like is that tanks seem to be a little bit overpowered for the infantry. So you might do really well with somebody getting behind enemy lines, and then they have a tank coming out of headquarters that can just whop you. So that's really frustrating. And then certain classes that you control in the game. Um,
have you been in a
certain,
tank?
I have not. I'm excited to do one.
I'm curious as if it's third person, if you can go third person, which in my opinion shouldn't be a thing in a
You
game like that.
you cannot.
You sure?
I don't believe you cannot go third person in the trucks.
You can't in the trucks, and it's probably the same.
And I've ridden in a tank and you cannot go third
Okay,
person.
that's all I want
But
to know.
but I mean people rack like 120 kills in those things
Yeah, I mean a tank
in
is
one go.
a tank for a reason, and until you get someone who's like, I'm gonna take out that tank, we're dedicated to taking out that tank. That tank's gonna fucking shit on everybody.
Yep. So I feel there's so many new people right now. I don't know if I'm getting the best experience. It seems like a game that really has a good concept, but you need everybody invested to have a good, fun experience every time. So
Yeah,
right now I'm getting microcosms of good experiences and I can see the potential, but then it fizzles constantly because of other people's incompetence or other people's um, just lack of awareness of what's going on.
yeah. I
Or lack of interest in fighting for the objective. Some people are in there just to kill and do their own thing, which is kind of how Battlefield was too.
which I feel like Hell Let Loose would be better if there was more focus on not trying to force people to play like as a team. You're already on the same team, so everything you're doing is fighting for your team. But when you give somebody like the commander role that can actually dictate and change things, that role is very specific. People are not necessarily wanting to pick that role because one, it bears a lot of responsibility, and two, it kind of cripples you from the gameplay you want to play with because now you have all this other shit that you have to do. And I feel like it should be in the game, but it shouldn't lend such a heavy hand to the gameplay. It should have some weight, don't get me wrong, because it's how the game was designed, but I don't think it should have as much weight. I also don't like how a lot of people are locked out of classes. Like, who the fuck wants to play spotter on a sniping class? So one guy can be a sniper and the other guy has to be a spotter. That's fucking boring as shit. Like, when you're sniping, you shouldn't even be close enough to where the spotter is relevant when it comes to like his gun because it's what a full auto like grease gun or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you're pretty much literally just marking people. Like
And you don't get XP for it.
that's not fun. Yeah. You should get everybody you mark. I mean, if you want it to be more engaging, everybody you mark that gets killed by the sniper should benefit you as well. And I also
In
don't think those are such a
Battlefield,
shit gun.
you can mark an enemy and it will stay on them.
I don't like
In Hell
that.
Let Loose, you cannot.
I don't like the Doritos.
I just don't think it's easy to coordinate. Like I ping guys all the time, and my sniper's not right where I'm at, and then he won't kill him or whatever. But
Yeah,
it's really frustrating.
you gotta be laying with the
And I
guy because the way it works is you call out a map coordinate or you call out a compass reading. That's how you mark, properly. Otherwise, I mean, if you're standing 40 feet apart and you're saying 160, well, your 160 is not his 160, so it gets lost in translation. But it's
is
just
there a compass on that game?
I don't know. I haven't played in so long. I guarantee you there is a way
I don't
to
know.
read.
Yeah.
But also, if you're laying together, you could say, call out a time or whatever you want to
I
call
want
it.
to touch on your commander thing. So, for my experience, the commander either ends up two ways. They don't want to be the commander, which I agree, because the commander either has too much control and can fuck the team, or the team can just fuck the commander and make it a super miserable experience for that guy to be a commander. Because if you have a bunch of incompetent people that don't know how to build nodes or get the game moving, what's the point of being a commander, right? And then people are all frustrated at each other for no reason.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of frustration in between squads in that game. But it is, as far as my experience, I like it more than Delta Force. And I like it right now. I still think it's fun. Like if you get three or four guys from a squad running in front of you and you just spray them down, or you
The
get a
time to
nice
kill
rifle
is
shot.
very fast.
Yeah, and it's usually one shot with the rifle.
Yeah.
So
It's one.
I
Yeah.
love that. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I
But
shot a guy in the head and his helmet came off the other day. I was like, oh, and then I had to
ping
shoot him again.
flies up.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I, I have about 30 hours in Hell Let Loose in total. So I think it's because I was playing that and Postscriptum, which they renamed to like Squadron or Squad 49 or something like that. I don't remember. Either way, but I was playing between those two games and I actually preferred Postscriptum because it played better and it had just less of a clunky feel to it. At the end of the day, both games were really similar, but I preferred Postscriptum, so I didn't play too much of Hell Let Loose, but I played a little bit. We'll say.
Did you
And
ever command?
fuck no, I would never do that. I always go into a squad and lock it. Like I don't even want to play with other people. It's not my gameplay style. I will play the objective and I will push forward with everybody else, but I don't want to hear someone else in my ear. I don't, that's the other thing about that game I don't like is, and I think Postscriptum was the same way, but if you were to start your own squad, you're locked into the lead role of that squad, and then you're stuck with guns you don't want unless you've grinded enough to unlock everything. I just want to start with the same gun that the assault or whatever the gunner starts with, like just the semi-auto rifle.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like that I have to
Give
start
him the
with an M.
Garand.
Yeah, I don't like that I have to start with a. I think it's an MP40. Is that what it's called?
If you're German in that game, if you're German, you start with an MP40 as a squad leader.
Yeah, I don't
It's
like
the
that.
Thompson if you're American.
So I mean,
And then the Russians, they have the worst guns in the game, so you just don't want to be a Russian in that game at
what I'm
all.
trying to think. Oh, Day of Infamy. Did you play that?
No.
It was a free-to-play World War II game, or World War One, World War Two. I don't remember now. But that game was actually really fun, and it's free to play too. That one was actually good. We played that for quite a while, but it did. There was just something about it that felt a little off, and it didn't keep me totally addicted to it, but it was solid.
I think my favorite part experience wise in Hell Let Loose is when you're running and you see a garrison on the other team and you're about to just go fuck that garrison up. And then all of a sudden 20 dudes spawn on it and they just pop up in the open and then they mow you down. It's terrifying. And it's really frustrating because then you end up having to run another 10 minutes, but it makes a memorable experience.
Yeah, there's a lot of running in that game if you don't understand the spawn systems and if people aren't putting down garrisons and like, different
Or if
points.
one guy just wastes the truck and just drives the truck, leaves everybody.
And that's most of the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, all in all, it's a solid game. It never hooked me. You know, Battlefield
I would
hooked me. I don't know why. Old ones
I,
anyway.
I would not pay $30 for it where it's at right now. I think it's $35. A little bit high price point for me. I think $20 to $25 would be good.
Yeah, it's definitely a $20 game, and it's how old now? Like 5 years old or something like that. Maybe more than that.
Think so.
Um,
2018 maybe even.
yeah, I mean, they're lucky they're still around. I bought it. I bought the game when it was in early access, so I've been playing it since it was at a very early stage. But I don't got anything really bad to say about it. It's not Call of Duty. It's not that dog shit.
You think it's got more room to run than Delta Force right now?
No, I think Delta Force is gonna do much better. Delta Force has the longevity because it has the different game modes and modern weapons and different abilities they can toy around with. But we'll
And
see.
we should get campaign here soon, I think this month.
Yeah, I'm down for a co-op campaign in that game, and I'm honestly down for the Battlefield mode, but it's not unlocked from the beginning, which is a mistake. They want you to play these other modes, and I'm just like, no, I'm looking for Battlefield replacement because Battlefield hasn't been good since, in my opinion, uh, what was it? Battlefield One was like the last one I actually enjoyed, and I
I
knew
love
I knew
Battlefield
at
1.
Battlefield One though I knew it was going the wrong direction because it started to play like Star Wars, and I hate the way that game feels.
Oh, really?
Fuck, I hate the way that game feels. It just feels so unnatural. You don't feel like a person running around. You feel like this fucking weird rubber bandy thing.
I love Battlefield 1.
It's because
Probably one of
you're a
my
noob.
favorite games in the past 10 years. But I never played the before Battlefields. So that's the problem. I never got to experience those. I was Call of Duty.
Ooh, I mean, but they're different games. That's the whole thing. So like, I was playing Call of Duty and Battlefield 3 back in the day, and because they're totally different. Yeah, Battlefield has a death match and stuff like that, but it's not. Call of Duty's in a different world. You got your perks and shit like that.
I love the opportunity to objective grind. I'm good at that. Any game that has like large scale objective, um,
You can
I
get
don't
in.
mind. I don't mind taking a few deaths here and there to grind the objective,
Yeah, I used to.
and I'm all for it.
Yeah, I used to be able to sway an entire game. Like you would join a game late, your team was just getting fucking pummeled, and it's because they're not playing the fucking objective. So if you just run around that solo man and just capture everything, you get them off of spawn camping, and then it gets the game rolling again, and you could potentially turn it around when people start to realize, like, oh, maybe I should be capturing the objective instead of just fucking trying to fight out of this. Jump in a fucking helicopter and jump out. Like, come on, do something. But
Nothing makes me more mad and hell let loose than when I see the opportunity to go push the fourth objective in like a war zone mode where you're fighting over two objectives at a time. I'll go over and try to get people in the truck and just drive and get there. No one will get in, maybe one or two people. We'll get that new objective up to like 90% with just two or three of us. We'll die, and then everyone's finally starting to come in. Like when they see it's at 85, 90%, then the teammates are coming in. By that time, we're losing the middle objective. So then we have to run back. Everything just falls apart. It's really frustrating. Like timing is everything in that game. And if you don't understand how timing works in games, that's how you're going to lose a lot.
yeah, because you can't. Can you regain after you've been pushed? It's not very easy in that game.
In Warzone, there's five objectives. You fight over the middle one. If you capture the middle one, you have the opportunity to defend that middle one then and go for the next one. The problem is if they recapture the middle one before you capture their next one, it sways the entire momentum because then they're going for your objective and you have to go back two full objectives. So you're fucked if that happens a
Yeah,
lot of the time.
yeah. I you know,
If
I,
everyone gets too spread out, you get fucked. Like you need one or two solid squads to push a new objective, and then you need everyone else on defense of the core objective. In my opinion, that's kind of how the game plays. Because you can hold that middle objective and win the game if you're good enough. It just lasts like an hour.
I just can't get myself to play it. I played like 20 minutes on my laptop, and then I just was like, I just don't have the drive to play that game. It's one of those games like I don't feel like I'm actually gaining anything by putting time into it. One, it's an old game, and the revival of it is going to be temporary. But two, it's just like Sea of Thieves. I feel like it's the most pointless game. I've played it, hours of that game, and I've never once been like, that was satisfying. That was great to accomplish that goal. And instead, I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing this for? Like, what is the point of this game?
Every time I watch Sea of Thieves gameplay, it's just a boat going up and down in water.
It's a
That
fun
shit looks.
game. It's just that there's no weight to the items in it. It's just like you're just like, oh, I'm got a good gold collection here. What the fuck am I gonna do with it? I don't know.
Can I tell the people quick?
Yeah,
I gotta tell them. Green Bay Packers today, baby. 1 hour. 1 hour of playoff football.
I know a guy who's a
Broncos are
Packers
facing the
fan.
Bills right now, but Green Bay versus the Eagles, probably the hardest game for us that we could have had. So I'm kind of pissed off about that, but whatever.
They're not gonna win.
Hopefully. I, I don't know. I think the Eagles are the team to beat in the division, so I'm kind of worried about it.
I don't know. I'm not a cheesehead. I'm not a sports fan, so.
I would love to live in Green Bay and just work out there. That'd
Well,
be
you're used to the weather. I was about to say, yeah, you want that weather, huh? But I forgot you already used to that.
Yeah. I would like to move somewhere that's temperate, like in between cold and warm. I don't think I could handle that Texas climate. So I think somewhere in
What do you mean you
like
can't handle the Texas climate?
I pit out, man. I don't want to pit out
What
all
the
my
fuck
dress
does that
clothes.
mean?
I don't want to swass in the chair or like I don't pit out up here. It's great.
Oh, your armpits don't sweat profusely?
Yeah, I don't want to have hyperhidrosis down in Texas all the time.
It does get hot, but you're not the only one sweating. There's a lot of fat women that have those, wet pits too.
Yeah.
Especially in
Fuck though, it'd be
Texas.
nice to just go out and take a run outside whenever I want.
The winters out here are
Or
pretty brutal. I mean, yours are on another level, but because where we're at, it's hot and cold during. I mean, it snowed here the other day, and it's already melting off, and it's nice outside. So it's like the weather's so
where
fucking weird.
where are you gonna let your dog take a shit out here, in the middle of the winter?
Hold him
It's
over the
like,
snow.
yeah, your dog has to go outside, use the bathroom. There's nowhere for it to go, and then it comes in and it gets its feet wet all over the floor. Ooh.
Oh shit. So Hell Let Loose. Play it if you like World War II games, I guess.
Oh, I'm 100% give it a try. Give it a try for sure. Get some buddies though. Actually, the more I play with buddies, the more I like playing alone because I just like playing my own way.
Yeah.
But
It's not
I don't know.
like Siege where you can play around, see how everybody plays, and then kind of be like, well, we should try this. Maybe this will work better. Because in that game, it's like, fuck, we all died to a tank. And you go back and the tank's not there anymore. He's over fucking someone else's ass. So,
In a perfect world, you get hell let loose. You get about 6 to 8 guys
run
and get
multiple
two
squads.
squads.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
You need 2 guys because then you can have 2 different support characters, which are heavily involved. They drop supplies. Then you have an engineer who can build stuff for you. I think if you had 2 squads, you could build all sorts of cool shit and have a lot of fun. But when you're just one squad, you find yourself short a little bit all the time when it comes to supplies and engineering capabilities. It
Yeah.
limits you a lot.
So, Hell Let Loose. Try it if you want to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk
Unless you're
shit on
like
it.
unless you're like Deuce, then don't try it.
I've played plenty of hours. It's just, it,
He will not play anything that's not superior or on the same level as Tarkov anymore.
it's hard to go backwards once you've gone so far forward. And people will think I'm crazy, but Counter-Strike sucks ass. So get over yourself.
Okay, so we got Hell Let Loose off the list, Green Bay off the list.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Not
glad
ready
that
to
one's.
talk about printing yet,
We can jab into it if you want,
but
but what else do you want to
I,
talk about?
snow. We just brought up snow.
You
You
want to
get that
talk about
snowblower
snow?
outside, bro?
I
I
don't
just
have a
want to talk about how
snowblower.
manly running a snowblower makes you feel. You run that fucking snowblower outside and you're just, I don't see any ladies out there running the snowblower. And then
Hey, I
you go
guarantee you
across
there's
and
some ladies that run the snowblower.
they shouldn't have to. There should be a man that can do it for them. You
That's
get in,
sexist.
you help the neighbor's yard, right? Because there's like an older lady that lives next door. You'd be like, see her out shoveling. You're like, hey, I got this. You get in there, and then
You pound
you
her up,
realize,
dump a
you
load in that
realize
90-year-old cooch.
how intense that snowblower is when you get inside and your hands are shaking
Oh yeah, it's like
for
weed
like two
whacking.
hours.
Yeah, when you're like weed whacking all day.
But anyway, nothing gets the testosterone going like running that
Hard work.
snowblower.
Hard
Yeah.
work. I haven't done much of that. Hopefully, I'm about to be ripping up the floors in the lady's house, and we're gonna seal the concrete, sand it down, and seal the concrete, and then just do rugs in there and not put a floor down.
What's it mean to seal concrete?
You just put like I don't even know what it is. I'm just gonna use this because it's just, but basically like an epoxy floor. So you just like
Is it in the
a coat
basement?
of epoxy. No, it's the main house. It's just on. We don't have basements out here,
Okay.
which makes no fucking sense. You'd figure in the place that has the most tornadoes, you'd have a fucking basement.
Yeah, why don't they do that?
Why do they build their houses above ground? I don't. You
Heat
fucking answer me that. I don't fucking know.
heat rises, it's cooler in the basement. Why would you not build a basement in a place like that?
Well, why would you not just build your house underground? They're like, oh, there's too much moisture in the ground here. Well, then fucking build a moisture barrier. I would rather live in a house that's not going to get blown over by a tornado than live in a house that's going to get blown over by a tornado and then have to just go to my shelter and wait for it to blow my house down. It's fucking crazy.
How many people do this epoxy or like this coat covering on floors like that?
It's becoming more popular, but it depends on how nice your concrete is.
So I'm looking at pictures. So my guess is that wouldn't your house be cooler then, naturally?
Well, it's just carpet on the ground, so it might cool it down a little bit, but you got to imagine we're ripping up the carpet that's in there, cleaning the floor off, and sealing it, and then basically she'll have throw rugs all over the place. So they'll be like the color of the concrete, and then you get to play with your rug colors, so you can kind of
Larfy and
change the
Brutus
room.
are gonna just shit all over that floor.
They
You're gonna
don't
be able to
poop in the
clean it so
house.
easily.
No, I would kill them if they shit in the house. Brutus has had spells of diarrhea. Oh my god, you don't want to know. Like, he's a Rottweiler, so he's a big boy, and you can tell he doesn't want to shit in the house by where he's shitting. He's like walking around the house just fucking shitting all over the place. It's fucking crazy. It's
The
disgusting.
middle-aged girl in that house, you're gonna see flaming hot Cheetos all over the new rugs.
Middle aged? Nah, she's in
Yeah.
college.
What? No, the middle one, the middle child.
Oh, Noni?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Cheats.
Cheetos everywhere.
Cheats Taki.
Or oh yeah, sorry,
The
Taki,
older
Taki
one.
dust.
Yeah, the older one eats. Like, her room needs concrete floors. The little fucking gremlin. She's so sloppy.
Just kick her out and use that for the recording room. Incentivize.
Well, I've been talking about what we're gonna do because, like, if I do happen to move over there, I have a lot of shit. I got my bed. Obviously, she has a bed already. So we're probably gonna use mine. I'll probably lower it a skosh, and then use my mattress and my bedstand. But I have a mini ramp. I have all my printing equipment. I have a fucking. Ooh, my table's actually nicer than hers. I'll probably bring my table over there. I have coffee tables and my whole computer set up. I got my racing chair. Like, finding space in a house that's already full of other people's stuff is very difficult. She does have a
Well,
barn, but
you're at the point of like considering renting out your place then, or what?
yeah, this place would get rented out. So it'd be less
So
bills for
you
me.
would no longer be in the state you're in then.
No, same state,
Oh,
just a different town, about an hour from here.
yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But
I'm
just
ready to move in May. I hope to get out of here where I'm at. I don't know where. And maybe I'll stay at the same job and then just move into town, get a dog.
get a
Um,
dog.
I just don't really want to be where I'm at
You
because it's
need
hard to
to
get ahead
find
with
you
the
an
price of a
established
bank.
woman.
This girl, man, I need to just go out with her and
I don't know
make it
why you're
happen.
pussyfooting. Look, the more you pussyfoot, the more awkward it's going to make your conversations because you have so much time from actually meeting her to then hanging out again. It's so much easier just to hang out with somebody because you don't even necessarily have to talk at that point. You know, you can just hang out.
I know we need to just make it happen. It's
No,
been
no, no, no,
we've
no.
been.
You need to make it happen. She's a whammon.
I
She's
know
she's used to playing games.
it's been 20 days.
Oof.
It's a long time of talking.
I talked to uh my girlfriend for 6 months before we met, but that's because we really connected well though. But
Did you talk on the phone before that though?
we were talking on like video calls on like Snap and stuff. But
Right.
uh we had our own things going on at that point. So it wasn't like neither of us were like in a rush, which was kind of nice to be honest. But yeah,
Well,
it
that's
took us
kind of where
six
we're at
months.
too, but you got to make an initial, like, I feel like I need to make an initial connection or someone else will swoop in.
Yeah, you're gonna have to stick
They
your
can't wait
penis in her.
forever.
Yeah, tell her you got a great
Yeah.
surprise. It's small, but it's a surprise.
It's very small.
It's cold. I was in the pool.
It's so small. Shrinkage. I had this great Facebook post when it was like -30 out here, and it was Costanza talking about shrinkage. And I realized it was the only public photo I had on my Facebook account. So anyone that Googled my Facebook for like years
Could
was
only
just the
see that.
Costanza shrinkage in my profile picture.
Do you know
So all
who?
the students were looking at my Facebook, all the like everybody.
Do you know who Wood is?
I wouldn't know off the
Okay, he's a
name.
gigantic black dude with a massive wiener, and there's
Oh,
an
is he the dude that
infamous
sits on the bed?
sitting on the bed. Yeah, my brother sent me that picture, and it says, "This is how cold it is outside," and he was wearing jeans. Couldn't even see his dick anymore.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I love that photo.
yeah,
That's
that
a
that
good
picture
send to your
is. He
buddies
died
for sure.
apparently, but I mean,
Damn.
it's an infamous photo for sure.
I'm not one that makes fun of people dying, but maybe he had too much blood flow going in one area
Yeah,
and
maybe.
pulled away. I've never been the kind that can make the memes like a day after someone passes away.
I don't know.
Hard
I
for
don't
me.
know if it. I don't know when that meme was made, but I don't know. Some people deserve to be memed. Plus, it's not as rude to them when they're dead. They can't be like, oh, I'm offended by this meme. No, you're gonna live on in infamy. You're a meme now.
If I was that guy, I'd be happy to be in that photo for the rest of time.
He is gonna be in that photo for the rest of the time. I can guarantee you that that picture stays around for at least another 30 years until we're dead. And then what's gonna happen is people like my brother who find every meme with that and think it's fucking hilarious. Their kids catch wind of it, and then that meme continues on throughout the rest of humanity.
The hardest part about being a teacher is trying to relate to students shit that you've seen 5 years ago that they don't even have any idea exists.
You know the
Like
benefit you
most
have though.
popular video from 5 years ago, they don't even know.
I don't even pay. I can't remember 5 years ago, but the one benefit you have is you're tapped in on gaming, and gaming
Yeah.
is almost like a lot of pop culture and like lingo comes from gaming now. You know, before it came from like music and TV, but now it's coming from people sitting in their fucking bedroom saying something that other people find to be hilarious and catches on, and you know, like whatever, I forget what that thing sketch says is, but
Not a lot of people
brother,
game here.
huh?
Not a lot of people game
But they're
at this
all
school.
Alpha Sigma Rizzlers, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a teacher that's famous for putting on the whiteboard, like you did a Sigma job, you did a this job, and he's explaining his grading scale with those words.
Yeah.
It's I thought about doing that, but I'm like, eh.
Yeah, there's a
They probably
fine
kids
line.
probably saw it. I don't want to be a copier.
Yeah, there's a fine line between authentic and cringe cheesy, you know?
And trying to act too cool.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's where I kind of excel a little bit because I don't really care about what's cool. I like making fun of things. And when you make fun of something after, like, when the kids say stuff like, oh, that's Alpha Sigma, I won't drop it. I will just, but I'm not saying it in any seriousness. I'm saying it because I think it's so fucking funny that they think it's a cool thing to say. So,
We've got a kid that's obsessed with the word Sigma, and he does all his projects around the word Sigma, and he's man, It's funny.
Props to him. I mean, at least he's having fun, right?
Yeah.
So
All
yeah, the youth is
right.
interesting. Yeah, I know you want to switch real quick, but I
Oh no, we don't have to.
neither of us have kids.
Hmm.
And if I was gonna have kids, it should have been about 15 years ago. So to see that who I'm with now has kids from around that time period, just to see like the diff, because like I see so much of myself in them, even though they're not related to me. But like I understand, you know, what they're thinking sometimes, and because I don't have kids, I can still act like a child and do stuff. I don't have to be too parenty all the time. But it's just I don't know. It's been fun. I'm kind of happy that they're not mine, because then I can say things that are like, you know, I would they like no dad. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm more
I
on
get
their
that.
level when it comes to maturity. I don't have
It'd
to
be hard.
pretend to be.
It'd be hard for me to have girls, I think. I think I'd be
Yeah,
pretty
because you can't be
protective.
as mean to them because they're
You don't
so
think so?
fucking sensitive. No, you can't. Um, if she had a boy, oh god, I'd love it because I'd be just like, I can't even say it on here because they don't take things as personal. It's more of a when you say something to a male, it's more of a like I'm gonna rebut and I'm gonna make it better than you instead of like why would you say that to me? That's hurtful. That's offensive. You know.
I think it's a total, what's the word when it's one way or the other for men versus females? I can't even think of it, but
Gay.
I if I had a kid who's 16 and he was going out on a date with a girl, I'd be pumped. But if that girl was 16, my daughter, and she was gonna go out with a guy, I'd be fucking furious.
Yeah, because you know what that guy's trying to
Alert.
do.
I'd be on
That's
alert.
the one thing I've been trying to teach them is like you need to understand males because you guys don't have one directly, you know, at your house, constantly being like, that's you need to watch out for that. These are red flags, you know. So I play that role as best I can without, you know, stepping on their dad's toes, obviously. But yeah, there's just some things that not everybody is who you are, and they need to realize that. So it's the one thing I'm
We
trying to instill in them.
we had a situation where boys snuck into a girl's hotel room. There was two girls and two boys. They were dating just in the early stages. And we had to like sit down with the girls because these two boys were kind of they're
Advanced.
D-bags.
Yeah.
No, they're just D-bags. And they're little kids. They're not advanced. So we had to sit down and the other teacher that I was with basically had to have a talk with the girls and be like, you're talking to little boys. Like these guys are not men. They're not gonna be men.
For a long
Quality.
time.
Yeah, for a long time. There's men that are that age or boys that are mature and like respectable, and then there's these two, and you two are dating. Like I don't know.
You guys just
It's just
perpetuated their cycle though, because most people
and
like what
now
they're
they're
told not
still
to
dating.
have. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it that's the hardest thing I
It's
found
crazy to me that yeah.
is knowing what's appropriate to say and when to say it, because sometimes people take what you say and then they want the opposite of what you're saying. So you have to find a way to say it to where it's more like, "Oh, I understand." Not like, "Why are you," or not so much telling them what to do, more so sprinkling a little bit of knowledge in front of them so they can at least see and diagnose, you know, without being told what they are supposed to see, you know.
Yeah.
That's how I'm trying to play it anyway.
Yeah. Well, we tell Noni that those Takis are gonna gut rot her stomach at some point, and that doesn't seem to stop her.
No,
So
she doesn't give a fuck at all. She's too young to even know. She won't know the damage of those Takis
when
until she's in her late 30s, and she's going to be like, "I shouldn't have eaten all those Takis."
when she's 21 or 22 and smashing Takis and seltzers, and then she gets her first hemorrhoid, that's when she's gonna know that those are not fun.
We'll see. We will see what the past or what the future holds, but anyway, enough child talk.
Yeah. Um. So I texted a female before this and asked her to give us a topic that she thinks we could go on this topic forever about dating in the modern world. And she says we could take it in so many directions. The struggles of meeting organically, dating apps, all that. She
So,
wanted to know if you were single. I
not
said,
anymore.
no.
I'm going to say it like this. Like, I would never date a woman that I met at a bar. Now, I say that in principle, but in reality, I can't. You can't call it. You never know what's going to happen. But I also don't go to bars. But I don't think dating in the modern era is anything different than it was dating a while ago. I think people are just shittier now, and there's so much access to, as a woman, penis, and as a man there's access to sleuts. You can find hoochies as easily as you can find a good woman. It's just, are you willing to dive into that dirty hole just to get a nut? But I've never been one to date. Most people that I meet are semi-organic. Most of the girls I've either worked with or saw on like a daily basis at their job, like if it was a restaurant or whatever, and I was just going there every day for lunch. Um, I've met girls on apps, but usually when you're on an app, you're just looking to fuck. And you might meet I mean, there's a chance you meet somebody who's unique, and you can tell that there's a little more there, which is the situation I'm in now. Because, we didn't just meet and bang. But in that same time period, that I can't say that wasn't my intention, was just to meet and bang. But then you get to know somebody, and I'm constantly reading into somebody, like everything they do. I'm watching everything you do. I'm watching every decision you make. I'm looking for any red flag I can to be like, this is or isn't a possibility. So I don't know. I don't think there's any differences now than 30 years ago. I think people are just a little more picky because they know that the 40 people that live in their hometown are not their only options. They can go an hour away and meet 40 more other people. So I think it's just people not wanting to settle is the main difference, and thinking the grass is never greener, ever, unless you're in an abusive relationship, but you're most likely going to get back with an abusive guy again, because you don't know red flags and what to look for in someone's behaviors. So at the end of the day, I blame fathers.
My take would be, since I come from a small town, if you meet somebody, there's very limited people in this town population for people my age right now. Um, People date out of high school, and generally they get married if they're still dating out of high school. If they're not dating people they met in high school, they're generally going to be single for multiple years unless they find someone and get lucky in college. But a lot of the guys I know are good-looking guys around my age that are still single, and they just hook up with people randomly, but they work blue-collar jobs, so they're not leaving anytime soon. As far as the dating apps go around here, I think a lot of the time people are looking for long-term relationships because there's only one dating app people use, and it's Tinder. But there's people that go on there and they put still figuring it out as their status, which just means they're trying to hook up, you know. Uh, as far as that, in my position, I would go 1 hour away, no problem, if that meant I could date somebody who hasn't been with all my friends or somebody I know.
That's another
Because
thing
I'm in a
with small
small enough
towns.
town
Yeah.
that everyone knows each other.
And my whole thing with that too is like small town, and everybody's kind of fucked everybody who's gonna fuck everybody. In my experience, it's very hard to stop fucking somebody you fucked, especially when you're not tied to a relationship with them, right? So like, you're banging this girl and she all of a sudden gets a boyfriend. It's much easier for you two to bang now because there's no like, I'm going to make him mad. He's going to want to know what I'm doing all the time. I want to know what she's up to. Like, that they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So it's like a safety net. So that would worry me. That worries me now. And most girls have fucked so many dudes nowadays that's like, this is the way I like to say it. A woman can have one baby every 9 months, and a man can have 9 babies in one day. So, women are to be cherished, not to fuck everybody who will fuck them. Because let me tell you, everybody will fuck you. Women don't. They seem to not understand that it's supposed to be a fight to get a woman, and she's not supposed to fuck around, just to like, oh, it feels good. You know what else feels good? Fucking getting high on methamphetamines. But it doesn't mean it's what you're supposed to do. Like, just because it feels good and it feels right doesn't mean it is.
So let's say, for example, yeah, I don't know, man. I It's really hard for me. I think that the dating scene has been pressured. I think it's changed, but in my regards, let's say you have a relationship and that person you're with, it's a red flag to me if they get all these guys messaging them on Snapchat or Messenger, which we talked about the other day. If you get a bunch of dudes messaging your girl, which is what happened when people were about my age, 18, 19 years old, or even 16 years old, nowadays kids, they don't talk as much in person and they're messaging people on Snapchat. And what's happening is Deuce meets a girl on Snapchat or has a girlfriend, and then he goes and hangs out with her. It's a red flag to me if she's responding to multiple or receiving multiple Snapchats. It's a shitty thing because it immediately puts trust issues
Women
in the
shouldn't be
relationship.
shopping around or like I, I don't know how to say
It's
this. Women do not have boy or male friends. None of you do. If you think you have a male friend, you are fucking delusional. All you have is a male trying to stick his dick in you. You might be fat and fucking ugly, but at the end of the day, that guy doesn't care about your personality because dudes like dudes for a reason. We're so much cooler than you. We have so much more to offer than to sit around on social media all day and just be fucking schlubs. Like, I'm not trying to hate on women or females, but the state of people's mindset currently is so frustrating because they've lost sight of the real reason we exist and the only reason we exist. And it bothers the fuck out of me.
you have yeah. You cannot say
He's
you don't
gay.
trust me
Yeah.
because if you say you don't
No, I
trust me,
don't trust you, you stupid
no, I
dingus.
don't trust the 10 fucking dudes messaging you. That's what I don't trust. They're all messaging you to fuck you. They're
Yeah.
not messaging you to be your friend. They don't want to watch Harry Potter with you to be friends. They don't want to come talk to you at work and get your fucking Snapchat to be friends. They don't care about me. They don't know who I am. Why would they care if they step into the boundary and get
I
you?
as
So
a
the moment we as males have less room to make mistakes than people years ago, in my opinion, because if you make a mistake and she's immediately like has one opportunity to have a bad day, she
oh,
might
100%.
she might give in to that message here and there.
100%. Women cheat on emotional reasons typically, and men cheat because we're fucking horny. Like,
Hmm.
that's why you have to find somebody who kind of syncs up with you on that level and that can leave you satisfied for the time being so that you're not out looking to find another squirrel.
In the other boat of it, my other best friend, one of my best friends, D-Rec, he was dating a woman for probably 3 years, and she was hyper jealous all the time. And he was kind of a player, which is the word that they use for men, right? But there was always women that were kind of hitting on him, and he never had to put in any effort. I don't know how they hit on him, but they did. And
Some boys got the swag, and I
he had the
don't know what it is
BDE,
either.
the BDE, bro,
What the fuck is
and
that?
big dick energy.
Oh, see, to me, that's little dick. What women perceive as big dick energy, I consider little dick energy. I don't like the boisterous, happy to talk to everybody. Like that to me is little dick energy.
Oh, he's
But
not like
girls see
that.
it as big dick energy. Oh, he's so friendly. He was like, I'm like, nah. That dude
His
is
is the
that's the first dude who I would not trust to have my back.
his is the just like kind of relaxed, lay on the couch at a party kind of thing. That's the big dick energy, I guess. But anyway, long story short, this chick was so jealous. And if you're listening to the podcast, D-Rex, sorry for talking about this, but
Sorry, you're
she
talking
was
about
so
your little dick, bud.
she was so jealous it pretty much ruined their relationship.
Yeah.
But do you want a girl that's like that? I
It
mean,
depends because
maybe.
some people are like that because they're trying to protect themselves from what they are actually. And then there's some people who truly feel like it's the like they just I don't know. It depends on your past. What happened in your past is pretty much what dictates your future. So, you know, you can't blame her, but at the same time, what is he doing? Is he going out? Is he going to the bars? Like, because me, I don't go out. I don't go to the bars. I don't find it necessary. I feel like people that do that at my age are kind of losers. I know a lot of people do it, but I feel like it's kind of a loser activity. Go pour some concrete. Go build a cabinet. Go do something else. I don't understand the bar scene. For women, I feel like they only do it to go out to be seen. And if you're wanting to be seen, why are you with somebody? If you feel like why can't you just be home with your girlfriends, drink at your house with your girlfriends, listen to music with your girlfriends, and dance at your house? Why do you have the desire, the necessary, the need to be seen doing these things? Like, what does that do for you? That is one of my biggest issues with women, especially my age, because they're all sucked into that lifestyle. Go to the bar, hang out with friends, drink, but it's like, you don't even understand why that bar exists. That bar does not exist for women to have fun. That bar exists for men to get laid. So
I like the concept of a girl who goes to a dive style bar to have drinks with her girlfriends where there isn't dancing or any of that stuff. And it's just more of like a classy establishment.
where
They
they're there
have a
to play
couple of,
pool and shit.
or just to sit and casually have a conversation and have fun. There's just music in the background. There's not live music. There's not anything going on. Um, I like live music, but yeah, I don't want to go meet a girl at a club bar. Fuck that.
It don't make
I
sense to me. It takes
I don't
all
want
of
to.
the.
I would never date one. Like, there's no way. I could see myself having a fun evening, but I'm not interested in having a fun evening at my age.
No, I wanna. I
I could have
wanna.
a fun evening every weekend if I wanted to.
I'm to the point where I could sit in front of the fire every night, fucking cuddling it up, and be totally happy. I have no desire to go out. My friends are my friends. I don't even want to go hang out with them. Like, most of my friends now are just online and we just game, and that's like the extent. I don't need to see you. I don't need to go hang out with you. Like, that doesn't validate the fact that we're friends at all. Like, to me, and girls, they just need that. They need the social media. They have. I hate to say it, but boys grow up riding bikes, playing sports, fighting, getting hurt. Girls, for the most part, grow up on their phones, watching social media, and gossiping. Like, that's the extent of it. So I feel like they're missing something in their life, and I'll say it again, it comes back to the father.
Well,
Dads are what are ruining this last 15 generations of women.
kids are not parented the same as they were. I don't think they act differently in the classroom. Middle schoolers, they go home, the girls, and they sit on their phones at night. When you ask them what they're going to do, they say, probably sit on my phone or talk to my friends on FaceTime. And it's like,
You're not even
like,
bit like, at least gaming is
what
a
are you doing?
skill.
And then they pull out their phones. We did a screen time thing earlier this summer, and the average screen time for these girls is 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day. I mean, it's the moment they get home till when they go to bed, or
And
they're
they're
or they're
doing
after
nothing.
supper until they fall asleep with their phone in their hand.
Doing nothing. Like, I watch YouTube all the time, but
Yeah,
I
just
would much
they call it
rather
doom
do something.
scrolling.
Yeah,
They're doom scrolling.
whatever
So
that means.
just scrolling until your brain's not even like taking in any knowledge, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
that's kind of
so like her kids, the youngest one, she's pretty addicted to her phone, and it kind of pisses me off.
how old is she?
7.
She has a phone?
It doesn't. It's only like for videos and stuff. It's not like an actual phone with a phone number. Doesn't leave the
It has
house.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it has Wi-Fi, and she watches YouTube Kids on there.
It's like a tablet for a kid then,
It's just an
except
old
a
phone.
phone.
She just calls it her phone.
Yeah.
But like, she's so addicted to that thing. But she's also a pretty good artist for her age, and she loves doing art. So she does break the cycle of the phone every once in a while. But then there's like Noni, who when she's on her phone, she's usually playing Roblox. And if she's not, she's playing Fortnite. She's like doing something that's actively getting you to think. And when you're strategically thinking, when you're playing a game, when you're having to think about doing all these different inputs, your brain's not just sitting there consuming. Your brain is actively firing off, and you're seeing and responding, as opposed to just eh, eh, I can't stand that. They're so unstimulated that is what's stimulating to them. It blows my fucking mind.
And what do you think it's like for the women that are in their 20s or 30s?
What do you mean? What do I think what's
Crime,
like?
crime television, sex books.
Women
I
love their
mean,
sex
sex
books.
maybe reading sex books is stimulating, but what
It's only
I don't know.
stimulating to a point. It's like
Sorry,
watching
ladies, because
porn.
I know you all love that.
I'm not shitting on girls. I love females, but
Yeah,
I
we,
do
we we sound like we're lady bashing.
I
We're
am
not.
lady bashing because I want them to wake the fuck up and just really like go pick some fucking berries or something. Do something with yourself. Stop sitting around on your goddamn phones. It's so frustrating. And I hate and there's boys that do it too. Don't get me wrong. There's talentless boys that do it as well. But
Well, there's boys that play Call of Duty
yeah, those kids are just retarded.
and just sprint in and sprint in and sprint in.
Sprint slide, sprint slide, sprint slide, sprint slide, jump around the corner. I mean, at
Yeah,
least they got fast
doesn't
fingers, so they can please a lady when they're older. But
maybe.
my girlfriend loves my gamer fingers, and I got uber micro here.
I'm missing a chunk off my finger right now. A couple of them from slicing it on a can the other day when my can opener broke. Tried
Oof.
using a bottle opener afterward and crunching it open, and it slipped and just slid all the way around my knuckles. It was painful.
Yeah, those cans are sharp too. I had a can of soup that I opened, and I needed a fork to pry the top, and I did that, and my hand slipped right into it and it sliced this open.
That must be how a lot of people get cut. Blenders and cans.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, enough bashing women. I love you guys, but it's time to change your ways. Throw
How
your
do they
fucking phones out the window.
how do you change the dating scene?
How do you change it? It's impossible. It's too late. We're too far in. There's too many stupid people to change it, and not enough. There's not enough men willing to go without pussy. That's the problem. We're
I
driven.
miss the
We're driven for
days.
them. We desire them. We crave them.
I miss when you could just ask a girl for her phone number and like go that route. It's hard to do that now
Shit, it used to
without
be.
coming off like a creeper.
Can I get your mailing address? I'd like to send you a letter. Good old handwritten letter. It's basically text messaging, just faster. But
Man, I remember talking on the phone back in the day. You'd be laying in bed. I'd have these Nazi parents. My mom, you would sometimes hear the line pick up. It'd be 2 in the morning, and you'd be like, I think someone's on the line. Don't talk.
I
I
remember.
had
Oh, go
I
ahead.
had calls of my mom. There were some times when I'd be talking to a girl on the phone at like 1 in the morning, and my mom would pick up the phone and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, "Fuck." My mom was a Nazi, dude. She, my mom, my mom fucked me out of some relationships for sure.
She probably did you a favor in the long run, to be honest.
No,
No?
I've got a really good story, and she did not do me a favor.
Well,
But
sorry, mom.
yeah,
My I actually had girls that worked in the front office at school, and they fucking went through files and got my phone number out of the files and called my house. I was like, "How the fuck did you guys get my phone number?"
how the hell old were they?
I was in middle school at the time. They were in middle school.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
They just went through like the student information to get my house number. Fucking
Yeah.
creepers. If a boy would have done that, it'd have been creepy. But if a girl does it, it's like, hey, hi. She was
My
hot. So
job, dude, when I was younger, parents are at work till 5. You get home at 3:30. You call whatever girl you're talking to and you talk to her until your parents get home. That was my seventh grade, sixth grade, eighth grade, whatever you want to call it, experience. Talking to chicks 2 hours a day, whatever. Some guys, right? The virgins out there, I'm sorry you never got to talk to a woman yet, but
Mom doesn't count.
that was middle school. And then you get your homework done and you play your fucking video games with the boys the rest of the night.
See, we didn't have online gaming when I was that old yet. It was a new thing. It was like, unless you were on PC and like 40 years old, you didn't really know what online gaming was. It was all go to your buddy's house and play split screen.
I didn't get online until I think 2010.
Yeah,
Whenever that. I don't know how old I was.
I would have been late 90s when I was in middle school, I think.
Jesus.
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s, like 2000.
I was born 95.
You're only 10 or so, a little under 10 years younger than me.
Yep.
So
I was at the last hoorah of it, right before people got phones, and I was still at dial-up internet. You know, I got to experience some of that.
yeah. Well, it's
Unlike
a good thing you
James.
did. Yeah, fucking James. The guy's so young. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. The guy has no reference.
Halo tattoo, never played Halo 3. What?
Never
Never played Halo 1
and 2?
I don't know, man.
He's just got it for Guardians, huh?
I played a Halo 1 and 2 LAN party tournaments when I was younger. You know?
Never did the LAN party, but we've talked about that before. Yeah, so women, we love you. Find a fucking hobby, please. Please, for the love of humanity. We need hobbies and we need them soon. Otherwise, I had an idea for a drawing today. Here, I'll just tell you what it is.
I think their hobbies are getting involved in their schools' activities, 4-H,
That's
FFA,
fine, but
that stuff.
most of them aren't. So it was a picture of it's a work in progress. It's just an idea right now, but it's a drawing of a man and he's reaching for death and destruction. And then there's a woman standing behind him, sucking his soul away. And I don't know what I want to title that side of it yet, but it's life. And so death and destruction and life and probably preservation, because without them sucking men's souls away and turning us into things we're not naturally, the world would not continue. It would be a gigantic war zone and people would be dying all the time because, you know, the only thing that makes men civil is men who are trying to please women. So
Really?
yeah. Why would we be civil?
Peaceful?
Huh?
You don't think world would be more peaceful without women?
Oh yeah, but it'd be real gay too.
But not gay for me.
Yeah, it'd be real gay for you. It wouldn't be gay for anybody. There's no women.
From
No,
me.
I
From
think.
me. It wouldn't be gay from me.
Oh yeah, it would just be gay because of you. But
You telling me you would engage in gay acts if
there's
there was
no
no
women. What are we banging? We have nuts still at this point.
I don't know.
Think
I
about
wouldn't
the
be
frustration.
big fan.
We'd be in the
Eh.
foxhole just pounding it out.
There would be no war. There would be no war.
I
There'd
know,
be
because there's no women to fight over.
yeah. We'd be all driving Lamborghinis, man.
Hell yeah. Being gay, driving Lamborghinis.
They'd now be Lamborghinis.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you want to talk about
They're going to be called the Slambo.
the Slambo? Yeah. Do you want to talk about gay sex more, or do you want to talk about printing? You got some questions you
Dude.
want to ask on that?
I think we have to hold the printing conversation for another time.
That's fine.
It's gonna be a good half hour, 20 minutes worth.
Oh, I can
Green,
talk about.
Green Bay plays in 10 minutes.
Okay, that guy is fucking done. All right. Well, you can sign us off then. This was the
All right.
episode about bashing women.
Yes. That's gonna be a hard achievement to name for this one.
No, it's gonna be called. It's gonna be called
Figure it out.
spousal abuse.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you for watching Not Married to the Name. I'm PBR. This is Deuce. Until next time.